Welcome back everyone to another video. Today is October 10th, Thursday. And as we all know, today was CPI day. Really, we had a little bit of a choppy morning session. If you guys looked at your chart during that ICT silver bullet for mini NASDAQ, I was looking for longs, but unfortunately, I didn't really like the type of price action that I was seeing, so I simply skipped it. Really, tomorrow I believe we also have PPI, and then next week we should have a nice week going in. So analyzing this, we're on the daily chart here. I had some new day opening gaps. We have this one right here, and we also had the current new day opening gap that I was watching as well. So really, price was in a deep discount going in from here because we were also below that midnight opening price, and we traded back into this wick right here, as well as this inefficiency as well. And here I'm on the 5-minute chart. I had this main draw here, this main buy side liquidity draw, as there's going to be buy stops above here. We see that price takes first sell side liquidity below this low, and we also take liquidity once more here in the form of manipulation leg as we sweep down once more and then come back up. And something else to know is look how far below we are to that midnight opening price, indicating prices into that deep discount. We also see a bullish breaker with a low, high, lower low, higher high. Look at how the wicks respect the consequent encroachment of the breaker. But really, I didn't like any of this price action, all this consolidation. So I really decided just to sit on my hands and tape read price. And going on the 1 minute for a more detailed view, here's that manipulation leg that we talked about right at the macro as well. Notice the time. And then all this chop here, that's why I didn't really like it. It wasn't until finally the opening hour at 11 in the morning we finally went up. We also had this these equal highs up here. Retail is trying to sell all this, and of course market makers, knowing this, they're gonna have retail is gonna have their buy stops, which the market makers are gonna take that. Breaking down what I saw with the tape read, as we can see here, we see price display sub from that opening hour. We have a large fair value gap. I like how we respect the consequent encroachment there. We trade up another fair value gap here. It's a little sloppy, but we do manage to get up. And then from here we have an order block, and then another order block right in here, as this down close candle was engulfed by these two up close candles. We see price once more tap into this inefficiency as well. We didn't even get into the mean threshold before finally trading higher. And something else to notice, I always recommend have those new day opening gaps on your chart, because you can see how it's perfectly reacting to it. That's really, really important. Until finally we trade up, we sort of stumble in that buy side liquidity that we talked about earlier, but then we finally managed to get above it, right above that the new day opening gap that I mentioned earlier as well. But mainly, like I was saying, all this right here I didn't like. Usually I also like how if we have a breaker, it's gonna either have a larger displacement at the bottom with some sort of breakaway gap, or we take a discount below that 10 a.m. opening price. But we barely took anything. We sort of just went up and accumulated all in here, and then finally took off at the opening hour at 11. And here we're on the daily chart for the dollar index. And I was looking to be short on dollar index, of course, being that I want the vice versa move or the divergence with NASDAQ. So I was looking for bearishness on dollar. We also had this little rejection block here, but it's also a new day opening gap. So if I zoom in here, you can see that little new day opening gap there coupled with this rejection block. And then we also see price reject off it. And then I also had the current new day opening gap as well. Here on the 5-minute, you can see it's a little sloppy, but we see the buy stops and sell stops here. We take the buy stops first with the news, and then we go lower, taking out these sell stops. We see price trade up into a premium. And in this case, I call this a double premium because, again, we're above the minute opening price and the 10 a.m. opening price. So that was actually really ideal for our situation with NASDAQ. It's just unfortunately, we didn't really see the cleanest price action. And on the 1-minute chart, you can see how all this range is a low resistance liquidity environment. So the speed in which it can go down should be a lot smoother. We sort of got that, but then we began to consolidate the rest of this session. So, I did like how we sort of traded up back into this discount here if you take a fib range here. But, either way, I feel like we could have gotten better price action today. But unfortunately, with yesterday's massive expansion, today was somewhat expected. And also CPI landed on a Thursday this week around, compared to usually how it lands on a Wednesday. So I hope you guys found this video insightful. Please be sure to comment down below. Also join the Discord. It's going to be in the link in the description. And I'll catch you guys in the next market review. Peace.